Hello, hi.
How you doing?
Good, G.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Look at that, adjusting his mic already.
Yes. Oh, that's fine. That's cool. That's cool. I've had a beer already.
You like it when I cut out your voiceover?
Rather disappointing.
Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hope so.
I hope so.
Start the timer.
Hello there. Please tell us who you are and what you do.
My name's Andrew Dennis. I'm a careers advisor and work on in photography as well.
Oh, tell us about your photography.
Well, I run a program called Love Where You Live, which is
Okay.
a community engagement project mainly based in Bromley.
Mhm.
So working with children and young people, 4 sessions, take them out into the big wide world of Bromley and show them what's beautiful about where they live and get some photographs done. And
My sister lives in Bromley, but I've only been there a few times. What is beautiful about Bromley?
oh,
If you could pick
all
one
Feels
thing.
like a loaded question.
yeah. Well, I mean, not much if you don't look closely at it, but that's the whole point, really. That if you get down onto the floor and look at the sort of the drain cover patterns and the flowers and the leaves and it's all about kind of looking at the banal, really,
Yes.
but looking at it closely and for long enough so something interesting leaps out at you. And it's really nice to see it. Sorry, as we say, it's really nice to see it through the eyes of young people and children as well.
That's something that I used to do with hobby photography, and as soon as I bought a 50mm lens, I had to move around and really take notice of what was there.
Yep.
So yeah,
Which for a voiceover artist, moving around is not what you like to do.
no, forget that now.
Well, is there a link between the photography and that side of what you're sort of bringing out with the young people and then the careers advice then?
To a degree, yes, because I feel I can talk to students at school about their interest in photography and where it can potentially lead. Because I think people who train to be photographers, I don't know really, but I assume I kind of think about sort of set piece photography, weddings, special occasions, that kind of thing. Well, I think it lends itself well to projects as well in the community, just sort of opening up people's eyes to what is there. But yeah, no, to answer your question directly, I mean, something that's interesting in Bromley. Do you know? I don't know if you know Penge, that kind of area.
Yeah, a little bit.
Annerley. Those amazing murals all over the towns, those 2 towns.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's great to get in quite tight to those. And
What's your favourite picture you've ever taken?
my favourite picture I've ever
question.
taken. Oh crikey! I do like Martin Parr.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are the ones that I prefer to take are kind of on the beach. So people who perhaps are bearing more flesh than one might wish them to, especially males, and sort of taking sneaky photographs of them. Really,
I've met Martin Parr.
Have you?
A photo festival, yeah.
Amazing.
it's quite. I've mentioned Martin Parr very recently, this one, and I think he's provoked some controversy because people think he's kind of sneering at people.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is his.
It's more just like a kind of an accurate realism kind of look at what's going on, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I think. Anyway. Yeah. So. Yeah. No. Good question.
What's your, being that we're in Margate, and Joe thinks I'm addicted to, well, I'm a gambler, he says. What's your favourite arcade game?
Like old school. I mean, I'm not a gamer, I have to say, so it'd be something like Pac-Man or
Classic.
something, or maybe. Do you remember Pong?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I mean, something that doesn't take long to master.
Yeah,
would
I
be
like
my
that.
favourite.
I can't believe we didn't get 2 minutes into the first guest at our first live show, and already Martin's mentioned arcades.
Sorry.
When in Margate. Go on. I'd say, are you noticing any trends in the sorts of careers that people are looking to go into? I mean, we're moving into an age where AI is increasingly common in everyone's jobs. Is that already having an impact for young people?
Not, I don't think yet, but I have noticed trends. I've only been doing the careers work for a few years. A lot of people want to do forensic psychology, crime scene investigations. And I keep saying to them, obviously there's quite a bit of crime around, but there's not that much to go around from what I'm getting from young people. So yeah, it's really, really popular. A lot of young men want to go into construction, roofing, scaffolding, usually because they've got
1 minute warning.
kind of does that kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's tough out there. I think you're right. Some of the jobs that we're talking about probably won't exist in 2, 3, 4 years because of AI. So it's about kind of AI proofing some of the future careers that are ahead of us. So
We're in Margate today. It's our first ever live episode of 5 Minute Business News. What's your association with Margate?
I had an exhibition as part of Margate Bookie 2 or 3 years ago now at the Turner. It was a photography one with a colleague of mine, and so that's when I met Andreas. We did some Polaroid photography, and it was fantastic. We did 4 sessions with young people aged sort of 10, 12 to sort of mid-20s. So, and I kind of just turn up every year, just sort of hang around and see what's going on.
Hang around and go home again.
Exactly, I think. Yeah.
We've spoken about Andreas now, so we don't have to do it again. There we go.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Start the timer.
So please tell us who you are and what is it that you do?
I'm Paul Dornan. I'm a screenwriter, a novelist, and I'm also a creative consultant and keynote speaker. And I help train keynote speakers and help them frame their speeches to be more human and more interesting. And I speak a lot now about being human in an AI world.
Yeah, interesting.
So how are we doing so far with our
Are we
speaking?
You look quite human to me. I
mean,
think
we're in the
this is
same
good.
room for once, so at least we have
That's
some
very
more,
good.
like,
You see,
proof,
that's the important thing in an AI world, is being in the same room, being present is part of it, being there in the place where other humans can see you and hear you and feel you. You know, that's the thing that's missing in the AI world, and that sort of stuff we think, because I work with Andreas Luizu, who runs the Margate Bookie Festival, and we're talking a lot about people being more present, using that time that AI gives you to do the things that people never had time before, which is, you know, to be more funny, amusing, curious, listen more, be present. You know, that's so you being here is very, you know, post AI.
Lovely.
And what is it about the Bookie Festival which has sort of attracted you?
Well, it's all down to this guy Andreas, this mysterious man from Madrid, who I've known for a long time.
When he's listening to this, his ego is just going.
I know. I know. He bribed me. He caught me out. You know, I had to come. No, so he gets me here, and I help, and I do the sort of MC on the stages down at the Turner and introduce the acts, the turns, and because I've been a writer, I sort of understand what they need and help them.
Going back to the AI that you talked about and your screenwriter, have you seen how much has that changed?
I think not yet. I think that's coming. I think the technology isn't quite there yet. I went to a screening in London of some AI films that everyone got very excited about, but they were very short and they had no dialogue in them. So they were almost like, you know, they almost needed a piano player. I think they'll get to the point where the dialogue comes in, and then who knows what's going to happen. I can see lots of benefits, especially as a screenwriter, almost like testing out an idea. You know, sometimes you don't know if this is going to work, so you could almost do your own trailer, put it on its feet, see if it's interesting to people. I can see lots of games there.
Sort of
Kind of proof of concept. Using it to plan, using it for structure. This is one of the things I did a talk here last Sunday about writing with AI, and the big point of that is don't let it write for you, let it help it plan with you. You know, use it to plan, use it to structure, use it as almost as a sounding board, as a research assistant. There's lots of good things for creative people and people at work to use AI in a very clever way that doesn't surrender their own agency, doesn't surrender their own selfhood to this thing that doesn't have any self. So why would you give over, you know, your identity to something that doesn't have any experiences, doesn't have any memories, doesn't have any feelings, just sticks together lots of other people's memories and feelings and turns it into output.
That's the case with any tool, but I suppose because AI-based tools can do so much, it's kind of more of a challenge to not let it go that way.
I think it can do lots of things, but its main big magic is how quickly it does it. So it's not necessarily that they're any good. It's just that it's taken 0.1 seconds. So we all go, woo, it's amazing. But that's the big amazing about it. And now I think it's AI's turn to be more amazing than that, and to give us, you know, things that are of quality rather than just of speed, you know. And I think that's what's going to happen next. And in the film industry, who knows? I think you might end up with certain films being made with AI, like the big action things. Who needs to hire 8,000 horses and, you know, do that and blow up buildings anymore? Do it in AI. But if you want an intimate human drama with really fantastic acting, then maybe you are going to be back using films and doing it the old-fashioned way, you know. So, you know, I think it will be horses for courses, and that's fine. And there will lots of the world will change.
Are you from Margate?
I'm not. I'm from North London.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you a question about Margate, but I'll leave it for the other guests.
My Margate knowledge is once a year I come here, and
Okay.
that's lovely. But no,
Okay, I'll tailor it. So when you do go to a coastal town, what's your ice cream of choice?
ooh, I'm a naughty one. I quite like cherry being stuck
Cherry?
next to chocolate or something. Sort of.
Okay.
I like
Yep.
mixing and matching. That's just my life. I write, and I'm creative, and then I help people in business. So I like having two kind of almost opposite flavors going at once.
Sort of sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour.
Do you have any bad habits?
Just not telling people about my bad habits.
Fair enough. Good way to end.
That's good, thank you.
Start the timer.
Hello, please tell us who you are and what you do, please.
I'm Bee, and I'm the founder of Bee's Bookshare, a book group in Margate.
What does, I might be asking a stupid question, but what does Bee's Bookshare do?
It's a book group in Margate.
It is, but it's a book group with a difference.
Okay.
So we don't read a set text. People bring whatever book they want to talk about, whether they've loved it, loathed it, couldn't put it down, couldn't get into it, and they talk about it, and then we share them at the end.
That's
so we
interesting.
swap the books at the end.
So you don't have the pressure of, you've read this week's book, right? And everyone
Absolutely
just
not.
kind of looks at their feet and
Yeah, I didn't
That's
want
nice.
deadlines,
yeah.
and I wanted to open my mind to new reads that I wouldn't discover otherwise.
What's the most interesting book that you've discovered through
I was
someone
going to
else?
ask what's the weirdest.
Oh, okay. or weirdest.
The weirdest was, well, not weird, but different, I would say, that I wasn't expecting was Chinese poetry
Okay.
and the readings that came from it as part of the person
wow.
sharing about it, which I wasn't expecting. Ones that I really love is we have one book sharer that everything she reads pretty much has cats in it. And as a cat lover, I particularly
what's
enjoy
coming.
that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know there was a cat crime series, like Cozy
Amazing.
Crime series. So that's fantastic.
So you think that she'd run out of books fairly quickly, but apparently not.
No, apparently not. And she's really great at searching out the ones that have gone out of print and finding them. So, and she reads whole series. So it's fantastic. And then we've had, prize winners. But I think one of the really special ones was Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, which had been doing the rounds and because she won the Booker Prize. And then we did an event with Bernardine in
Amazing. Nice.
2022 to celebrate our 10th anniversary of the Bookshare.
So what was the
special.
initial thought process behind starting the group?
Well, 15 years ago, when I moved back to the area to Margate, it was a very different place than it is now. And I was looking to join a book group. And I'd been to book groups where I had lived in Oxfordshire. And I found them a bit difficult because there were lots of deadlines. And I didn't want that. And I wanted something really enjoyable, anything goes. And any type of book and any type of reader felt welcome and comfortable.
Rather than it being another stress in your week.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my friend said, well, why don't you do what we do with each other and just share books? And so the concept was born, and it's been going for 13 years. And
amazing.
people really love it. I love it. I mean, my house is jam-packed with the books still from 13 years ago that I haven't got round to reading.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really good.
What's the best book you've ever read?
I was thinking about this. I've got 3, and they
Doesn't have to be
probably
cat related.
they sum me up really as a person, I think, in terms of interests. So my favourite book of all time is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee.
Okay.
The depth, the opening your mind to different issues, the exceptional writing. Then The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And that's all about imagination and the love of books and history and kind of those intricacies and really like losing yourself, escaping into a book. And then Tove Jansson's Moomin books series. I absolutely love children's books and the philosophy of life that comes from those books. So I would say those, but there's no
quite a
all
varied,
standout. Yeah, exactly.
Martin quite likes reading books about wind, but it's more in the sort of how to deal with it category. Yeah.
How
There's
dare you.
always room for farting books, I have to say.
Is there sort of anything off limits in the group?
No.
Great question.
The point is, and it sounds very highfalutin, but it's about the democratization of reading. You don't have to read certain books or be a certain type of reader. Anything goes, and reading should be accessible and enjoyable to everybody. And that's what I promote, really, just a love of reading.
Have you got any advice for someone who has lots of books, starts them, and then and then never quite gets there?
Don't worry about it. There's loads of DNFers. I'm one. If you can't get into it, move on. Life's too short. Or put it on the
That makes
retirement
me feel
read
better,
shelf.
thank you.
This is what I do. Yeah, pick up something that grabs your interest.
But maybe
And try
reinforce
going
that
back
shelf.
to it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Come to Bookshare is what I'd
There you
say.
go.
And then you might find your next read.
Thank you for the invite. No, she didn't invite you then.
Well, yeah, no, I'll take it.
If Margate had a Monopoly board, what
It
would?
does.
Oh, it does. What's
Does,
Old
doesn't
Kent
it?
Road?
Oh, I don't know, but it should be a bookshop.
There you go. There you
That'll
go.
do.
What's the worst crime you've heard that a cat has committed?
Cluing on a book.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Great callback. Thank you.
I think I rescued myself from being boring at the end then.
I've got an extra
weren't
question.
expecting
We're
that,
over
were
the
you?
5 minutes, but I've got an extra question. How is there anything from your book group that you take into your work, your day job?
So, something that helped me with the group is the facilitation training that I had way back when in my early marketing
Okay.
career. Because actually, I think people think running a book group is really easy, but the facilitation you need. And in the last few years, there's been some heavy topics.
Yeah.
So you have to really manage that and people's emotions, people's political views, people's lived experience. So it's actually a bit more into it. And I think anyone organising a group, and I think that's why it's sustained, because I had training in those skills. The book sharers don't notice it. Paul, you probably know this from what you do in terms of interviewing people. There's lots of skills that you do have to hone, and you do, learn from that experience. But I'm also quite relaxed about it. I don't overthink it. I don't prepare for it. It is potluck. It's bingo. You don't know what you're going to get. So you really don't know what books you're going to get, or when the erotic ones come up and people people standing up and reading, or people wanting to read their own work. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And other people's faces when they're doing that.
That's what I was going to ask.
Because you've got a mix of characters.
Yeah.
But I love that richness. I think if you've got one book, and that's no shade on other book groups, and they're really popular, and I think people like being told what to read. I got called a reading rebel the other day, and I quite like it. That's good. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Start the timer.
Please tell us who you are and what do you do?
So my name's Paul Rutters. I am presenter of Saturday Breakfast for 107.8 Academy FM, which is Thanet's local community radio station.
We're 10 seconds in. He's got the plug in there. What a pro.
That's brilliant.
Showing us up.
What's your? Can you give us your intro, like as when you start your show on a Saturday morning? How does
Well,
it
it's
come
the
in?
weather forecast, so it's not very exciting.
okay.
So, I mean, it's to be honest with you, it's going to be, weather today is sunny, light winds, highs of 30 degrees, scorching in Thanet, and all that kind of stuff. So the first bit is the
Looking
weather
out the
forecast.
window, I'm not sure.
It's not like that
that's
today in
accurate
October, but yeah. And then, the programme has a mix of things, but I suppose one of the main elements of the programme is all the local information, and I have local interviews with groups, societies, people, charities, a whole host of people that are connected with Thanet and doing things basically to make Thanet a better place for us to live, work and visit. There you go. What about that?
Love, that was excellent.
That was
Well,
pretty
it's
much
that-
it.
I've done it before.
That connecting
you.
with other people, like that's going to be part of the appeal. But was that the initial appeal? Was that why you got into doing what you do?
Not really, no. I mean, I've been involved with radio. There's two things in my life I've been involved with for a long period of time. Radio since I was about 14, and I'm a bit older, obviously. And then the other thing is my full-time job, which is involved in the shipping cruise industry, which we're not talking about today. But those two things are the two things that I have been doing for the longest in my life. So soon, I guess, no, it's more than 30 years involved in radio broadcasting. And I've been involved with a number of local stations in Thanet and East Kent. And the Saturday programme just really developed over time when I wanted to have more local content. We have a good mix of music, we have features, but I wanted to get people in to talk about stuff they were doing in the community. And that's really developed over the last, well, actually 10 years, really.
When I was very young, I would do tapes of me
Yeah.
on the radio.
Yeah.
How did you start, and what was it that pulled you into
Yeah,
radio?
a bit like that. I mean, it's funny. It's like, kids today don't know what tapes are, but you think about actually recording the top 40
Yeah, oh
and the
yes.
favourite songs, and then pretending, I mean, I'm still pretending to be a DJ now, really, but pretending to be a DJ and do that. And then through stuff like mobile discos back in the day. And then that led to wanting to then get involved with what started, which was hospital and student radio. And to be honest with you, that's what I started as a teenager. And it's kind of been a hobby that I've done ever since that, and that's been 30 plus years.
And what is it that keeps you going in radio?
I suppose it's a passion, really, and there's people that are involved in sports or they're involved in art. I mean, radio's so diverse. I mean, here we are in 2025. There's podcasts, there's streaming, but to me, nothing beats the fact you can turn the radio on in the morning, you can hear the weather forecast, find out what's going on the roads, and that to me, it's that connection with the listener. And it's important that when you're,
security, isn't there, as
and I think
well?
people like that.
Yeah.
And I've worked and volunteered and been paid to work in radio across the whole of Kent. But actually, there's something quite special about Thanet and about the community here. And that goes back to when I started with radio in Thanet in the late 90s on a station that was called TLR, that people might remember, that have been around for some time. And that really was embedded in the community. And Academy is the same as that now.
Have you got any horror stories for anything that shouldn't have happened on air?
Yeah, there's probably a really good one.
We'd asked you
straight
this
away.
before we got you on the podcast.
I was doing the Remembrance Sunday, or broadcast during Remembrance Sunday. There's a 2-minute silence. And of course, at 2 minutes, at 11 o'clock, it's like what we call dead air. There's nothing. And problem was, this is while I was working for, like I mentioned, the station, KMFM. Suddenly there was silence and the emergency tape kicked in, which happened to be Oasis. Don't Look Back in Anger, which was a little bit embarrassing because obviously it was set up that it would be, if there's silence for, let's say, 5 or 10 seconds, they'd kick in with like an emergency tape. So that was a bit of a faux pas there, definitely.
Yes.
Probably think, wish that never happened. Especially at that time and that day. Yeah.
To go down a completely different route, do you think you would do well on The Apprentice?
No.
In a word, why not? Why not?
I say I'm a terrible salesman and my job involves sales. I don't think I'm ruthless enough to go on there. I'm too much of a nice guy, personally.
I can't have someone who works in radio without asking them what their favourite song is of all time.
That is
You
a good
introduce
question.
it for us as well.
Okay, so on the way, after the break, let's have Peter Gabriel and Sledgehammer.
Nice.
Very nice. The video, and summarise the video for us.
The video was iconic for the day, was definitely a trailblazer for producing music videos that sadly, and I've just heard yesterday that MTV are turning off all their music channels in the
really?
UK because they're going on to reality TV. And that just shows the way things have developed, podcasts, YouTube. But we've got to move with the times, which we certainly have. But radio to me will continue and be that medium people will turn to, whether it's in the car, at home, on Alexa or whatever.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for your time, gents. Cheers.
We didn't ask, what brings you to the Bookie Festival?
You didn't ask me that, no. So basically, I've been interviewing Andreas for about 10 years on the radio. And then last year, he said, you come and do a panel. So I was doing the panel this morning with the 3 crime writers, killer stories.
Cat crime, I'm assuming.
Well, in fact, cats are mentioned quite a bit because apparently cats, I didn't know this, cats on the cover of a book sell books really well. Did you know that?
Japanese authors, yeah.
And
Huge, it's like a micro-genre at the moment.
Oh, right.
But there's yet to be a book about cat pooing on the book.
Yeah, but that's still to come, maybe.
Up in the market,
It's
maybe.
definitely got to come. I mean, that was
Start the timer.
Hello there. Could you tell us who you are and what you do, please?
Good afternoon. My name's Chris Plato, and I gave a talk here just the other day as part of the Margate Bookie Festival, where I billed myself as Thanet's only jollyologist.
A jollyologist.
We're going to have to ask. What's a jollyologist?
Well, I know, of course, but for Martin's benefit.
Let's see if we agree. Jollyologist, portmanteau word from jolly, meaning glad and gay and happy. Olig, from the Greek, meaning few, like in oligarch, and gist, meaning to get to the gist or the pith of the matter.
Love it. That's exactly what I would have said word for word.
I was going to guess that.
Yeah.
as well.
See by your face that you were nodding sagely.
So again, for Martin's benefit, can you flesh that out? What does that look like? What do you do in a sort of typical day or typical week?
Well, I mean, I'm retired now, but for a long time I was working in education, art education, graphic design, video, and so images, words, sounds always interested me. And I studied typography. And when I was younger, I was writing scripts and stories and songs, playing in bands like a lot of people do. And then when I went to university and started studying typography, the idea of the actual characters which make up these words, everything seemed to really come together. So I make these pictures which are hand done. You know, engineer's punch. You know, if you get a dog tag, you hand punch the letters.
Yeah.
I've got a set of those. And
Proper typography.
exactly. I make pictures from these which are puns, and so they're a combination of a picture and a pun. So I call them punctures.
Nice. So, can you give us your favourite pun? Do you have a favourite joke or pun wordplay?
The whole lecture was about. I don't have favourite puns. I'm a great fan of Radio 4's I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, and they do an alternative dictionary and new definitions for old words. And my favourite one is the definition, the word gravy means close to death.
I like it.
that. That's
I like
good.
it.
See where I'm,
Yes.
see where I'm
Like
going
it,
with all
yeah.
this?
Yeah, it's good.
But the poshest pun ever was, in my view, was by Lord Napier, who was out in what is now modern-day Pakistan, and he was to put down a rebellion in the province of Sindh, Sindh. And he was very successful. He put the rebellion down and went on to capture the rest of the province. And he wrote to his superiors one word, which was Bakafi, which is Latin for "I have sinned."
That's where my
So
mind went.
these
yeah.
things- these
I
things
didn't have the
interest
Latin,
me
but
Maybe this might be another question then. To typography, let's go there. I read a book about typography once. That sounded like a setup for a joke,
Yeah,
didn't it? It wasn't. I did genuinely read a book about typography. What's your favourite font? Do you have a favourite font?
Well, actually,
typeface,
now-
we should say.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. This is a real bugbear because, you know, when I trained as a typographer, we actually did we set type each individual character into a block and then into a frame, and then
Not to
we
correct you
printed
on that.
it.
I mean, I know you've read a book, but
It's fine.
So you used a different typeface.
yeah.
Now, a whole collection of the same typeface in different sizes,
Yeah.
that's a font.
Okay.
It's not. But, you know, I'm not going to argue because it's now in the dictionary and things
That would be
change.
pedantic for anyone to pick you up on that, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's not the first time, let's face it.
Yeah. Apart from that, I write very short stories.
1 minute
And
warning.
I only really deal in comedy. I only want to make things laugh. And because I deal in comedy, it means that I'm interested in politics, economies, sex, animals, nature, ecology, because everything is worth laughing at.
In your opinion, greatest comedian?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. They change because the face of comedy has changed so much. It's completely different when I was growing up to now. I think now, for me, modern comedians just tend to rant rather than construct jokes. But my favourite humorist writer, by a long way, are the plays of Oscar Wilde.
Oh, okay.
I think the importance of being earnest is the finest thing, funniest thing ever written in the English language. 5, 4.
Last question.
3.
Where did you get your Margate Bookie t-shirt?
I can get you one. Very, very cheap.
Drop us an email.
Thank you, gentlemen.
friends@5mbf.co.uk.
Thanks ever so much.
And what about you guys then? This 5-minute business trends, is this I never heard of you, but until now.
Yeah,
But obviously
yeah.
turn the table
Clearly, our
around.
marketing's
Turn the tape
doing
off,
well.